Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report. Mitchell Renz from Chat Sports, ready to walk you guys through the big-time injury news that y'all need to know leading up to the Raiders' Monday Night Football game going on against the Kansas City Chiefs. So what you're going to see here is me talk about all the injury updates that we have received from today's practice and hopefully what you can expect going forward. The biggest news, it's this one. Hunter Renfrow was a full participant at Raiders practice today. He has missed the previous 2 games due to a concussion. The fact that he was out there in full puts him in line to play this upcoming game against Kansas City. I mean, let's face it, when you are a more than a touchdown underdog on the road up against arguably one of the best teams, if not the best team in the NFL, you need to have all your pieces. I'm glad that Hunter Renfrow is going to be out there on the field. Let's talk about another injury update here. This one's, a little bit more sour. Tight end Foster Moreau, we missed last week with that knee injury. He was one of 2 players who didn't practice today whatsoever for the Silver and Black. Now, we'll talk about Darren Waller. He's going to be coming up here in a little bit, but you're hoping that Foster is able to get out there dealing with that knee. I just don't know how good it looks as it stands right now, especially because you also have the Raiders bye week next week. If the Raiders are really worried about it, they might just rest him up again. That way he's fully healthy for the long stretch that is the rest of the season. Let's go to another injury update here, another knee injury. It's Rock Ya-Sin. He's been battling this one here for a little bit. Missed last week. Had a coin flip of a chance to be able to go out there and play. They held him up, which now is looking like a smart decision because you still came away with a victory over the Broncos. I am really, really hoping that Rock is going to be able to rock and roll. I know, terrible joke. Against Kansas City, but this is a team that's got Mahomes, you got Travis Kelce, and I'd actually be curious because I saw a report out there that if Rock Ya-Sin is healthy, the Raiders could actually potentially put Rock Ya-Sin on Travis Kelce because of that physicality. Not every time, but Travis doesn't move like a normal tight end does. So if you could put a corner who has some of that physicality, I kind of like the idea behind it. So out of these 3 players right here, who is the most important? If I were to sit up here and say, okay, we only get one. And you know what? We're actually going to make this the pinned comment on today's video. So when you're getting hit with that YouTube ad break, scroll on down. Which Raider is the most important up against Kansas City? Is it number 13, Hunter Renfrow? Type 1-3. 87 for Foster or 26 for Rock Ya-Sin? I believe that all 3 of those players are unbelievably important. And it already looks like Hunter Renfrow is going to play. The reason why I'm going to say Rock Ya-Sin, though, is because he plays on defense. And when you got Patrick Mahomes, who's averaging like 37.3 points per game in his career against the Raiders, I don't care how much offensive firepower you get. I know this. I have watched a lot of the games that Mahomes struggles, which does not happen often. And just like every quarterback, when you can fluster him, that's when this team has a chance to win. So for that reason, Rock Ya-Sin is the most important player out of those 3. Now, if you haven't already hit that subscribe button, please make sure you do so. Yeah, we talk a lot about news. We do breaking stories here. We dive into rumors. But we're also doing a lot of Raiders analysis. So if you want more content like that, hit that subscribe button. Turn on those notifications. That way you don't miss a thing. Let's go to another injury update here, and really big time, fingers crossed on this one. It's Denzel Perryman. I hope for the love of God he's able to go out there and suit it up. He looked really good, I actually thought, in the Week 4 game before he exited with a concussion. So he was dealing with, a knee injury, and then he was dealing with an ankle, missed Week 2 and 3, was able to come back in Week 4, deal with a concussion. He was a limited participant. He was rocking the red jersey, and for those of you that don't know, the red jersey is the non-contact jersey in practice. I hope that he's able to play. Really, really hope, because if he is, it's going to really bolster our defense. He wasn't the only linebacker, though, that was limited today at practice. Raiders linebacker Jayon Brown, he's dealing with a hamstring injury. He's limited. He has definitely struggled in coverage. I released a video earlier in the week about the 5 players that need to step up if you're going to take down Kansas City. Brown was one of those players. When the Raiders added Jayon Brown this offseason, they were hoping that he could be one of the linebackers that could cover a tight end. Because entering the season, statistically, and according to PFF, he was one of the best coverage linebackers in the NFL. And those numbers have been dwindling a little bit. I mean, it's just point blank simple. Yeah, I can put some blame on Patrick Graham and his soft defense, but you know what? Jayon needs to step up. Divine Diablo needs to step up. And if you don't have Denzel Perryman and you don't have Jayon Brown, that could become a major issue. Now, if all of those things end up happening, personally, I would do this no matter what. You signed somebody to the practice squad earlier in the week. His name is Blake Martinez, and it's still unknown whether or not he's going to play. I'm going to sit up here and say he's more than likely going to be activated for this game. He knows Patrick Graham's defense, and the thing is, I'm really curious to see if Blake Martinez is out there. Does that also mean that Denzel Perryman's going to be out there? Because both of those linebackers probably would be an upgrade over what Jayon Brown has been bringing to the table thus far. But we are going to talk about Perryman, one of the leaders on this defense. Give me a Y for yes or an N for no down in the comments section right now. Honest opinion. Feel that? It's your gut. It's your gut reaction. What is it telling you? Is Perryman going to play up against Kansas City? Let me know. I'm going to be looking. More injury updates here. Justin Herron, the Raiders traded for him earlier this season from the New England Patriots. He was a limited participant today. He's dealing with a knee injury, though even if he's good, he's not going to get much playing time. The Raiders, after their Week 4 performance against Denver, they like their offensive line. And you know what? It's probably one of the best offensive line games I've seen the Raiders play since Rodney Hudson and Gabe Jackson were lining up on the offensive line. You got Colton Miller. You're going to line up Alex Bars. You have Andre James, Dylan Parham, and then on the right side is going to be Jermaine Illuminor. Herron, though, does offer you some of that depth just in case. More injury updates here. Roderic Teamer. He did not participate today. He was one of the only other players that did not, him and Foss Moreau. Now, it wasn't an injury. It was an illness. I don't know what the illness was. I know that there was a bug going around the Raiders team, which is when Jacobs missed all that time a week ago. I'm hoping that Teamer's out there, though. He's a good special teams player. He's been a liability, though, in the secondary. Another secondary injury update here is Sam Webb. More depth. If you got Rocky Sin out there, I'm not really going to worry about Sam Webb all that much. However, we'll see if he's able to go out there and just give you a little bit more depth and flexibility, because the Chiefs are going to try to throw the football. If you need a fresh face, if you need someone out there to just go get an extra rep or two, you know what? Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Coming up next here on the Raiders Report, we're going to get into the Darren Waller injury update. I mean, I get it. I want him to be out there. The fact that Waller and Foster did not participate. Waller, we'll get to him in a second. But if you want to bet on the Raiders, hey, number one place to do it is our awesome sportsbook partner. It's BetUS. If you go to chatsports.com/Raiders and you use promo code Raiders125, you get a 125% deposit bonus. What does that mean? You put down $100 at chatsports.com/Raiders, and they're going to get you an extra $125 for free to bet with. So what do I tell people? Put down $10 on the Raiders to beat the Chiefs. What do you got to lose? You got all that extra free money anyway that it's just going to sit in your account until you use it. Here's the real kicker, though. We're also going to hook you up with a free jersey. This deal only lasts until kickoff for Monday Night Football, so listen up. $100 at chatsports.com/Raiders. Sign up and deposit it. You get a 125% deposit bonus, $125 for free. You make your first bet, $5, $10, $15, $20, $25, I don't care what it is, on the Raiders. Can be any other NFL team. And then I want you to email us that you did that at jersey@chatsports.com. You can email me what jersey you want. This deal has absolutely nothing to do with BetUS. It's from me, Chat Sports, the Raiders Report, so don't ask them the questions about it. Again, this is going to be a limited time offer. Email me, though. First time BetUS users only. That's important. First time BetUS users only. Jersey@chatsports.com if you need the details. So predict the score for me. Raiders, Chiefs, because last time I looked, Raiders 7.5-point underdogs on the road in Arrowhead. And then you think about the idea of, I believe now the over-under is 51 points. I know the last time the Raiders were this big of an underdog in Arrowhead, it didn't go pretty. But I also remember last time they were double-digit underdogs on Arrowhead, and they came away with a win in that one. Fingers crossed there. Let's now talk about Darren Waller and the injury update for him. Limited participant. He's dealing with a shoulder injury. we can all agree, Waller has not lived up to that new contract that he has signed this season. That's not a rip on Waller. It's the truth. Has he still played well at times? Yes. Are there more mouths to feed with this offense now that you got Devontae Adams? Matt Collins has really rose to the occasion. You're going to pound the rock 28 times with Jacobs. It's going to be less targets for Waller. But even with that being said, he has not played as well as what you were hoping for. You still need him out there if you're going to beat KC. You need to be as close to 100% to take down the Kansas City Chiefs in Arrowhead. Now, before I wrap up today's show, friendly reminder, again, we make a lot of videos over on Locals, and I want you guys to join my community over there. Heck, challenge me, NFL Week 5 Pick'em. Links down there below, chatsports.com/Week 5. So if you're looking for extra Raiders content, scan this QR code right here. Watch this. Bang, scan that bad boy with your phone. Extra Raiders content, I got you covered. And I think if you're a diehard Raider fan, you're really going to enjoy it. So in terms of when you watch this video, if you're watching this before Thursday Night Football, well, Jeremy Chuggs and I are going to be live for Broncos and Colts. Looks like we're going to be beating up some horses tonight. Sorry, PETA. So join us. We're going to be going wild. Hit that subscribe button. I'll also say we're going to have a special guest. I'm not going to tell you who it is. Special guest, and she's going to be ready to rock and roll as well. So join the party. Hit that subscribe button. I guess we're going to be rooting for the Colts tonight. At least that's where I am. I'm going to be rooting for the Colts tonight. Join the watch party with Jeremy Chuggs and our special guest. See you in a little bit.